Okay. I think that's true. Bwop.
Whap.
Are we live? Did we do it?
We're here, and you know what? You didn't do a single thing.
I
There you
know,
are.
it feels great.
It feels weird, doesn't it?
I don't like it, honestly.
I don't. Yeah.
Like, I like it in the sense of, like, I feel, like, at ease. I feel stress-free. But I also have all this stuff open on my monitor that people aren't allowed to see, and I feel like people can see it. Like, it's so... I feel risque. I feel dicey.
Now you know how I feel. I literally just sit here and just look good, and you're over there like sweating bullets.
That's how you do it. That's how you don't get the pit stains by the end of the episode.
Oh, I've got them. I've just got a
okay.
double layer black shirt, so nobody will see.
Big, huge thank you to the producer who is hosting this stream, and we are just a part of it. I am just a part of this stream. It's not my stream.
Yeah.
I'm just here.
It's my stream, guys. He's just here right now.
Thank you, producer.
And I hope to keep him here.
You have such a great IP address. And what I love about it is that it's not mine.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it is certainly not yours. And you know what? It's not mine either. And by the way, I've got to say, I'm just testing the audio quality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming through way better now than I am on Twitch. Like, it sounds like the quality overall.
That's interesting.
Better. I don't know how that works.
Wow, that's impressive. I didn't even balance the audio for you guys at all. So
it's
well, you're doing a great job, producer.
Yeah.
Not even just the balance, but like the overall quality. Like Wood's usually like, and I'm usually like,
well, we're both like, that's my fault because I don't know what I'm doing over here.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Wait, who was that?
What? Who? Hold on a second. All right, so let's introduce this a little bit. This is our first ever live stream here on YouTube. Well, I say ours, again, not mine. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
You know what? We're very glad to have you. Thank you for making the time.
I couldn't help it. Evening. My name was in the middle of the title. I had no choice, really.
Yeah, you just had to show up.
We are testing today. This is a little bit of a Sunday stream. Thank you to everyone that's shown up to give this a good old test. Because we want to, if you don't know, there could be a very real possibility someone watching this right now has never once seen us on Twitch, That is a possibility. I don't think it's a huge possibility, but it's a possibility that they could just be YouTube fans. They just watch the stream when it gets uploaded to YouTube. Well, you'll be happy to know that we're hoping that the streams can move here and be live here every Tuesdays instead. Something that we are experimenting with right now. We want to see how many people are here, what the audience is like, what the stream is like, what the quality is like, what it's like with the producer hosting. It's the first time the producer has full control of the show.
Hey, your screen is entirely visible right now.
I know. I saw that actually. That's new too.
That is trippy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just having fun pushing buttons, guys.
Hey,
But
well,
yeah.
there you go. You're actually producing the show. Well, I better fill out my backdrop over to on my right shoulder. Then it's just a door.
Yeah,
You
you
know what
are
I'm
gonna
saying?
have to do that.
But
Flip,
you know, I've heard,
producer, do an Erek flip.
Eric, I have heard though that sometimes a door can be more than just a door when it's ajar.
That was a canned joke. That's what that was right there.
Oh yes.
You know what? I'm gonna move the plant over a smidge. You know why? Because it's gonna look good.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, and you could like put the on-air sign over there too, maybe. And
He's on it. He's already on it. Look at him go.
oh man, as a professional at work, you know, maybe I should switch over here so you don't see all that movie magic happening off screen, right?
You still saw
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Oh,
you
sorry.
saw it. Good thing I didn't bend
Oh,
over
you
too far,
switched to
would-
me. Oh, okay. I'm now something I already have. For moving forward, I think it would be good if the producer streamed his screen to us, if that's possible, so that we could see the transitions in real time. Because right now I'm watching the delay, and I don't know when it's cutting between us. But that's why we're testing. We're learning,
Yeah, we're learning as we go.
and it's so
exactly
much
right.
fun.
For educational purposes only, okay? And you are, for educational purposes only, the guest for today, right? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just. Who are you?
I'm the other guy as far as anybody's concerned. So
But yeah, we're really excited. We hope this works out. We really do. But let's look at the chat. Let's read the chat. Talk to people.
Yeah. Hi.
Fist bumps only, folks. Yes, we have fans. Oh, we are gonna have to figure out emotes over here, which I'm not sure how you put emotes into Twitch. We're gonna have to figure that out.
don't know.
As of right now, another reason why this would be great if this works out, Eric, and the producer, because right now, a big reason why the YouTube channel is having a hard time growing is because it's not monetized. And of course, that one side effect means we make nothing for the uploads. But the other side effect, and the main one, is that YouTube doesn't share out videos if they're not monetized. So unmonetized channels, well, yeah,
Okay.
of course, they're not going to take up the space on the YouTube algorithm for something they're not going to make money on. So we're actually fighting the system here, and we're literally only getting seen by people who hit sub right now, which is tough for us. And to get monetized, we have to hit 4,000 watch hours, and streaming here doubles the chance of that happening quicker. Obviously, it just speeds up the whole process.
I did not know
So-
that.
But once we get monetized, it means the videos will be monetized, which means hopefully they'll get shared more. It means that we can have donations and super chats, and people can join the YouTube channel as a member and get emotes just like on Twitch.
I feel like I've only just gotten the hang of Twitch, and now we're doing something else.
YouTube's pretty
My-
much the same, but with less features, so you'll be okay.
I was gonna say my dad brain cannot handle learning another thing. But hey, you know what? If it works out, then it works out. I mean, the cool thing is that everybody watching right now, from what I can see, 54 of you guys, which includes me as well, because I've got my phone open. So even
And me.
I'm a fan, and you. So it's pretty cool because like everybody watching is exclusively subscribed to the YouTube channel. So you guys are like the super fans, the founders. you
Yeah.
know?
Everyone that's here right now in this test stream, we really, really, really appreciate it. You know, we feel like we're having trouble growing the podcast, but the fact that there's 54 of you in here right now on this channel, which is specifically for the podcast, it's not my Twitch. They're not people just swinging on by on accident. This is literally 54 of the people that really enjoy what we do with the podcast, and hopefully what we've always done with the podcast. And so you are the guys. Users
guys.
are the guys. Use guys. We really appreciate intensely and immensely. And I'm
absolutely.
I'm seeing some names. In fact, we should probably go ahead and give some mods out to these people.
You know what? I'm
Um,
seeing some familiar faces here.
Steve obviously needs to get a mod. Silent Brook can get a mod. Not that I feel like we're gonna need these. I don't think. Yvonne says, "I'll follow you guys anywhere, no matter what platform you're on." Paper
You know
hearts.
what?
Thank you so much.
That is what we call a super fan,
Mm-hmm.
super supporter. I don't like the term fan. The term fan seems too exclusive. You know what I mean? It's just like labeling somebody, oh, you're just a fan. You like what we do. But I like the term supporter because it's like this
Mhm.
person has invested their time.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's more of a rewarding term rather than oh my fans. You know.
Well, these people are definitely supporters. I think they would fall in the category of both fans and supporters.
Oh, for sure.
And we love the supporters more than we love the fans. But we love
Absolutely.
the fans. 100%. Because I don't feel like everyone that is a fan needs to support.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
very true. That is very true. Some people just like to tune in and watch and just,
But these people are more than fans, and I do wholeheartedly agree with you there. 56 supporters. Yeah, I like that. Hey, Eric and the other guy, we really need to get those shirts made. I think that was a really good idea we had.
Yeah.
I
It's
agree with
funny.
you, actually.
It's funny because like during the show, I'm like, yeah, that's an amazing idea. And then as soon as the show is done, I'm like, man, I don't remember a thing from that show until we're live again.
I know, I try to block it out as well.
To be fair, I think the same thing. I was actually thinking last night while I was making dinner, I was like, oh, we should get those team shirts done. Oh, where's the ingredients? It pretty much works like that.
What would we do, like team? No, Wood in the air guy. Will we do like an emoji or a character, or literally just the text? I think we've got a lot of text shirts, so it could be cute if we came up with 2 emojis for us that can be used in the chat, me and you, and then the shirts can be that emoji, and then the words and the other guy.
Okay, I like that. You could also do a spin on like, you know how for example, like Team Rocket or whatever in Pokemon have, their colors for the team. So we could let's
Yes.
just pretend like you and I are the opposite teams in a brand new Pokemon game.
Yes.
Mm.
Right? We have our own colors. So you have like a W, and I have an E. No, I
You
think
could do
that's-
that, but that kind of removes the other guy element to it, which was
Okay,
the draw.
This
Wood
is
and the
why
other
this is
guy, and
only
Eric and the other guy.
This is why this is just a test.
Or it could be
And this should be
Eric
a-
and
This
Wood
is why
and
this
the
is
other
just
guy.
a test.
It should be the other guy,
And then we'll
Wood and
have
Eric.
an exclusive, limited edition, one only producer and the other guys.
I like that. I know. You know who I know would buy that shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Car Steve.
Car Steve, yep. Gilly
he's
the
a big
kid
fan.
in chat. Gilly, I didn't
Hey.
ask you. Did you end up using that little clip I sent you or not? You didn't send it to me, so I assume I got the axe. Hey, Gilly, how you doing?
Ezekiel in chat. Can someone please tell me if this is a full podcast? No, this is
No,
just
no,
a
no.
test. This
It's
is
just a test. Well, we should have put it in the title.
We did. It's
Dead
like
man.
it's like when you're watching the news and then the colors come on the screen. It's like this is just a test. This is what this is, but just the YouTube version.
I mean, but honestly, I feel like we're, for the most part, very entertaining individuals, no matter what we're doing. So it's not a
Well,
full
you
produced show.
guys are. I mean,
Yeah.
this is your stream. I'm just here.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
right.
Yeah.
I'm so,
So
glad that
technically-
you could be here.
Thank you
It's
again.
Me and the intern / producer and the other
Yeah.
guy.
And I'm the other guy. Mhm. When it comes to the YouTube streams, I am the other guy.
How does it feel now?
Feels good.
So I'd like to direct your attention, guys. I did share my screen now, so you should be able to see that in Zoom.
Oh yeah, I've been looking at it. I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Zoom.
It's much better. Very, very blurry, but that does not matter at all.
Cool.
Gilly,
Okay.
yes, I am subscribed. However, I do not watch YouTube, so I will check it out. I will be honest, I actually did click on the video to see if I was in it, and I used the little scrub feature, and I was like, am I anywhere in here? No? Okay, and I stopped watching. And don't take offense to that, because literally that watch time I gave you, whatever that 2 seconds was, is more than I've given anyone else lately.
That's how it goes, you know? Sometimes it's like,
I
oh
don't
man.
even make my own videos lately.
It's like with Hulk Hogan, after a hard day of wrestling, the last thing he wants to probably do is go, like, immediately body slam somebody after work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have
Yeah.
some really bad traffic. So
Yeah, that's
Body
true.
slam you, brother.
The microphone and the other guys. Oof. That joke did not stick. Thank you, Ezekiel. Gilly the Kid. Why do I keep reading your full name? Lamau, the Yonoid segment is... Yeah, no, I did see that. And I didn't see me. So, I hope the joke hit. Anyone here got the golden... You know what? That guy has to have the golden mug by now.
Surely he does.
Surely
You know
he
what?
does.
Don't call him Shirley either. So yeah, the gold mug is definitely out there. It's out.
It is out. It is out. It is out. It is out. It is out.
Oh.
Where is it? Where is it? We don't know. We don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
but I do.
Yeah, I know.
Producer, you know?
Let me tell
How'd you figure
man.
it out?
So here's the deal. Okay. I suspect that you guys remember when Erek ordered his mug?
I do, yeah.
Remember how long that took for him to receive it?
Long time.
Let's just hope that whoever ordered the golden mug isn't in Australia.
That's
I
very
hope not.
true.
I hope not. Sorry. What is it? What is it? I got a little soundbite, by the way, of Erek laughing in the pre-show. It annoys him so much.
It's so funny. I forgot to laugh.
It's such a good laugh. It's so good. It goes through waves.
does.
Like
That's awesome.
it ends with such authority.
You know what? It sounds like, if you guys have ever watched the Sci-Fi Channel, it's like when you get the paranormal, the Atlantic Paranormal Society taps. If anybody used to watch that like 20 years ago, it's like they're there with their voice recorders. Can I get a sign of your presence? And they look at the footage like 20 hours later and they hear, and it's like, oh my gosh. Goes surreal. And it's like, oh. It's like, why would you do this?
That one's the best one. This thing is way too much fun, man. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, Erek. I wish you had
It's-
one so you could
it's
get
fine.
revenge.
Hey, once we get monetized, people can donate to the GoFundMe. Get a. It's like, oh my god!
I waited till you were gonna say.
There's no way, because I was gonna spit that coffee right out.
I'm actually crying, dude. That's so funny. Oh,
What is
sorry. I need to stop. Otherwise, you won't want to talk anymore. Will we have a Golden Mug theme song? Yeah, we really should. This has been so drawn out.
That's a great idea. Actually, I will make that.
We'll let you guys in on a I guess a little secret. It's something we've talked about. It's not something that's officially happening because we wanted to wrap up the Golden Mug situation first. But do we want to talk about what the next phase of the Golden series is?
Yeah.
I think at this point it's too late to do it with any existing merch. So I think we would have to come up with something new, something really fun that the podcast listeners would love. And we want to run the Golden situation again. Now, it might be a mug, it might be a shirt. We're not sure. But rather than just one that randomly gets sent out when some machine somewhere says it's time, which took forever last time, we're going to do every 5 we'll get one. So the odds will be much higher up until, wait, no, it wasn't every 5. It was 5 total. That's how we were going to do it. We decided 5 total, like the Willy Wonka golden tickets. There was 5, and we're going to have 5, and they're going to get released each week. So there'll be a winner every week rather than waiting forever to hit a number. And then the 5 winners will come together and we'll do something special with them, like a tour of our chocolate factory or something to the equivalent. Yeah.
You
so
might
cool.
want to take that back.
Speaking of things people want to take back.
Yeah, no, it just give you a look behind the scenes, and I think doing it more frequently allows it to be more accessible. Like that's the thing is with the golden mug, we had no idea what the target number was until I think we eventually got on to the guy who was making
Yeah.
the mugs, and once we heard that number, it was like, oh, okay, because it makes us look stupid for saying,
Yeah.
get the golden mug, and then it doesn't come out for 10 weeks.
Look, let's be like completely transparent, and only the 72 of us are gonna know. Don't tell anyone else what happened with this. When we did this, we literally just told the guy, send it out randomly. That's all we said, and we just didn't really even think that it would be an issue. It turns out that he set the number at, it was something like 42, like the meaning of life. He was going to give it at number 42. And I think we thought, or he might have thought, that we were going to sell a lot more than we did. And we immediately sold a bunch. And then it just kind of started to trickle after that. I think what happened is we sold a whole load, like 30 almost at once, people trying to get the gold.
Mhm.
And then anyone who wasn't really interested in getting the gold after that didn't really care for it. So I
Yeah.
think it became a matter of people either just buying the mug randomly because they wanted it, or someone finding out about it later on and being like, oh, I'll try. And that last 10 just took so long. It was like one mug a week. We just didn't really sell as many mugs as we would have liked. We sold shirts, but the mugs didn't sell as well as we would like.
Yeah, so I think accessibility is one thing that we were concerned about. So yeah, the more accessible that we can make a feature like, you know, a golden ticket or a golden mug.
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
think as well, I didn't really look at it because, you know, on the mug page it said golden mug, but the mug itself is not gold.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. When you went to find it, you had to click through the images and you had to find the golden mug, and it wasn't like obvious that we were running a promotion.
It was
Also-
like some gold little cling 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 here.
Okay, but I made that. So
Okay, no, that's
that's
fine.
But yeah, it wasn't actually a gold mug. We should have made the mug like yellow or something. So we'll do it better next time. The winner still hasn't come forward either, by the way.
Yeah.
Also, we're up to 92 people in here, which is amazing. Thank you so much to everyone that's
104 for me.
Oh, really? Wow.
So we're getting there.
We're past 100 on our first ever live stream here. It means the world to us. Something I'm remembering now because I'm back on. I have not streamed on YouTube in a long time, and I really do appreciate that Erek and the producer have me along for this stream because I'm just really happy to be here with them for their stream that I am not hosting. I'm now remembering, though, the more likes you get on YouTube streams, the more they get shared out. I don't know how that works. It just does work. Like, likes on videos on YouTube, people and ah if like that actually does anything to help it anymore. But the likes on the streams always do really help push them. So if you wanted to help out the stream, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it.
Chuck it a thumbs up, mate. And it's like, I tell you what, it looks like the views are actually coming in. So
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, for the first ever test, we're at 100. That is a good sign. Obviously, we get about a couple hundred on Twitch here for the show, so I would like to see those numbers. But hey, this is good. I'm happy with this so far.
for a stream that was only announced like 15 minutes ago, I think it's doing all right.
Well, I mentioned we were going to do it on my last stream, but we didn't actually mention it to the podcasters.
Yeah.
We didn't?
No, we kind of came up with this through the week. We didn't have this plan set in place last week.
No.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't really know what we're going to do about that as far as like people finding the show on Tuesday, but we'll talk about that later.
Well,
I mean, half the people are already here.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think it's as long as you have the notifications switched on for this channel, you should get a thing on your phone that's a push notification that says that, hey, that we're live.
Yeah, if you really want to support and get these streams when we go live, make sure to hit the bell and the notification. We would really appreciate it.
Yeah, because I mean, we really obviously appreciate people because you guys that are here right now are subscribed to the Wood and Erek YouTube channel. So you guys are here for us.
Yeah.
So you guys like the show that we do. So we're obviously happy to bring you something exclusive. to
Yeah.
you guys.
And it means so much to us too. It really does. Like, I can't tell you how much it means. But really, I struggle. I feel like when I make new projects to get people invested and interested in them. I don't know why. I've always felt that way. And on the Twitch, that we've been doing it every Tuesday, and it's been good. But a part of me is always like, how many people are just tuning in because it's my Twitch? How many people are actually here because it's the show? So it's really nice to see this representation on a platform that is literally dedicated to just the show. It does mean a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's allows people to enjoy it maybe a little bit more because like they know what they're in for.
Yeah.
Because we still get some comments. Well, not sometimes, but actually a lot of the time people tune in. It's like, I didn't know you did a show. Who's the other guy?
Oh my God.
Why
Yeah.
is he there?
It's been like almost 14 episodes. I don't know what we're at. And I still get comments like, you have a podcast?
I know. It's quite funny. And I look, there's a lot of questions too, even for fans and supporters of the show. Who is the intern? Well, to be honest with you, I'm happy to reveal nothing.
Also, no intern. Producer now. Promotion.
Doesn't exist.
Show respect.
Show some respect. It is a dog eat dog world out there. So
it is a dog eat dog world. Yeah. We should tell that story.
Yeah, we definitely should.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of dog eat dog world, there's some buzz in the comments about doing a Nintendo Switch / game stream night. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll do that.
We absolutely if we start
stage.
going live here, we want to have those bonding streams where we just chill out and play games. And actually my plan today for the test was to test playing Mario Kart. And I told Eric to make sure his Switch had it, and I downloaded it even today for the stream. But we realized we had to set up the actual podcast part of it first with Eric and I on the screen. The producer was figuring out how to do that fancy screen switching that he's been doing like that. And we then realized we had that set up. How would we actually set up the gameplay where if Eric and I are playing and the producer is streaming it, he can't see the gameplay because we're doing the gameplay. And then whose gameplay do we show if we could? Yours or mine? And our brains kind of exploded, and we were like, we'll figure it out next time. We'll do a game stream some other night.
The cool thing is,
yeah.
What capture card do you have?
We could play. Actually, we could play Jackbox, but I don't know how producer would fangle that together. Right. If we were to do that right now, you'd probably have to edit studio mode and try, and that's a whole lot of hoopla, but it would be fun.
Well, what we could do is my capture card comes up as a webcam, so I could just feed that in through Discord, right? And then you could just crop up like just split screen both of our footage.
Yeah, but that would absolutely work. But for right now, trying to edit that together while we're live might be a lot of hassle on the fly.
We'd have to set it up. So
yeah,
that's yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, but not right now.
The long answer is yes.
Wait, what was the long answer? God damn it. What is the...
Not falling for it.
That's pretty funny. All right, you got me.
You with your little soundboard over there.
Yeah, Jackbox or anything like that would be really cool. It's a shame that we don't have a way of throwing it up right now. But that's fine. That's fine. Maybe we can play just like a quiz with the chat. We'll just throw out random questions and see who gets them right first.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I've got nothing to say other than I've got a little trivia card game that I could just say and people would say answers.
I think the screen is sat on me right now, which I love. I love the look of me, but this ain't my stream. We should put, there you go. There you go.
I'll give Eric some more attention.
give me some loving over here. Yeah. By the way, do you like my plant? It's actually a real life plant, and that's the original on-air sign from our show that we did years ago.
Oh, really? What a nice little throwback that about 10 people care about.
So
I'm one of them. I'm of course one of them, but I'm not making fun of you. That sounded really mean. I was making fun of the fact that our last show was 3 years ago and no one watched it.
It's quite funny because the people who subscribe to this YouTube channel
were those people actually, yeah.
May have been those people. So that is, hey, you never know.
I wonder what all 6,000 of those people that hit the button at one point is doing right now. Or
They're
at
not
least
watching.
At least 6,100 of them aren't watching right now. But what have they done the last 3 years?
Well, I wonder if they think about us like, oh, what happened to those really quirky and cool guys? Like, did they ever bring a third person into the show? Like, did they ever do that?
Do they ever completely revamp and come back later with a new name and completely new style, mustaches.
And what's this
Mustaches.
weird channel that showed up in my stream called Wooden Eric? I don't know what the heck that is.
I didn't
I
subscribe to
honestly
that.
do hate when I sub to something, forget that I'm sub to something, the channel
And it
dies,
changes.
and then 5 years later I see a random video in my sub feed with a whole new name, and I'm like, what were you at one point that I subbed? Because this ain't it.
Yup.
Yeah, I understand. I know exactly the feeling. So people may be like, "Oh, who's this?" I saw a comment in the YouTube feed a couple minutes ago. It was like, "I don't even know who these guys are."
Yeah, I saw that too. But that's another thing about YouTube streams too, is it's way more likely, and I say way more, but it's more likely that random people can find their way into a YouTube stream and YouTube push it somewhere because they're trying so hard and there's so few people on the platform streaming than on Twitch.
Yes.
So the possibility of growth during the lives here is also another reason why we wanted to look at seriously moving the show here, because we might actually be able to grow the podcast on its own platform via live streaming, whereas on Twitch, we'd be growing it on my platform, which isn't brand connected, and Twitch doesn't share it out, and there won't be that growth from trying to grow something specific on another platform, if that makes sense to everyone the way it is in my brain.
Yeah, because it's like this is where the mentality is like sometimes you subscribe to people, let's just say on YouTube or Instagram, whatever, they're really cool personality, and then they have a podcast. Because then it's like, oh, here's this cool guy, but they're doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like some
Yeah.
people subscribe to just that.
Yeah.
You
And
know
I
what
would
mean?
rather
From-
that. I would
yeah.
rather people subscribe to just this because I'm doing it than feeling like they're forced to watch it because I'm doing it on a platform where they watch me.
Yeah. I mean, we're
Yeah.
up to 142 people ish.
Are we really?
You know what? I think for only having done this for
Oh yeah. Yeah,
20
that's a
minutes or something.
really I love that. Thank you. I mean, I've been really stressing out about it. And I'll tell you why. And again, I don't want to keep going on about it, but just, this is a test stream and we're just running through thoughts, but we did have this podcast initially a few years ago, and we did it on my channel, on my YouTube channel. And it tanked my analytics, and essentially both YouTube and my MCN told me you should probably get this thing off your channel because your channel is growing, and now you're adding hour-and-a-half long videos to the channel, which people aren't watching the whole thing. It's tanking your analytics across the average of your videos, which hurts all your other videos that were doing well before.
Yeah.
So I put it on its own channel, and it just didn't grow. It kind of died. We also didn't really continue it much after that. And I kind of feel like we just took it away from where it was kind of working, threw it somewhere else, and we let it die. And then all these years later, we were like, let's bring it back. But this time I'll do the same thing, however, on Twitch. And then my Twitch analytics started tanking for the same reason. And we're now going, let's take it and put it back on that YouTube channel that we let it die out on the first time. And it scared me
Yeah.
because I didn't want it to die out because I'm loving this so much and I want to find its place where it can grow. We're so committed. I mean, we just rebranded. We just invested all this in a rebrand. We're not throwing it here to die. We're actually throwing it here because in our brains, it makes sense that we stand to grow this here and actually make it something special. Whereas I feel like it was getting buried and underappreciated on my Twitch. Not by the people who love it, but by Twitch, the platform.
Yeah, I think the thing too is like the show. I like as you mentioned, and I've said before over on Twitch, I really, really, really believe in the show like more than a lot of other things I've done. And usually I'm 100% committed or 110% committed to a lot of things I do. But in this aspect, I'm like 150% committed.
Wow.
Like, time wise, and obviously investing my time like that I could be doing working or something like that. Like technically, I should be at work right now. You know that, but I'm not. So like, that's another story for another day. But just investing time, like trying to get branding stuff for the show, like through music and stuff. So like I believe in the show to the point that I would love to have the opportunity to go do the show with you live in person. If it gets to that point and grows, like in my mind, I'm like I see us in 2 years doing it in like not necessarily like a live studio audience. But like you and I to get sat together in a room with the producer off in the other side of the room, you know what I mean? We're all just sitting in the same room physically. Like that's where my eyes are for the goal right now. And I totally believe that that's possible. And like the fact that there are 138 people here right now, on a random Sunday night, you know what? That gives me a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, that definitely gives me a glimmer of hope too. I've said it before, and I've said it since episode 1, but I fully believe what we've created is a really fun, entertaining podcast that has an audience. It's just a matter of trying to find the audience. Because the issue is the audience for this show that we've created, it's not my audience typically per se. Not the audience that I've cultivated over the years. You know, I've been reviewing Switch games, I've been reviewing video games, and a lot of it was off the top of my head, a lot of it was scripted, a lot of it was like highly edited content, and now here we have this podcast which isn't about video games specifically. It's a podcast, so it's like an hour long rather than a 10-minute video. It has someone else is a part of it, so it's not just me either. So you bring your side to it, which people watching, you know, who have come just for me now feel like there's two people and I'm not the main attention. There's a lot fighting against what we're doing as far as the brand that I've built, but there is a really huge base of people I feel like that would love what we're doing here. It's just trying to find them outside of everything I've built already. So essentially starting from scratch. And that is impossible in 2021.
Oh, for sure.
Or improbable, I should say.
It is improbable, but obviously, you know, we've got a lot of support so far. And the one thing that I was concerned about with Twitch, while we do get good numbers, you know what I mean? Like we get a lot of people watching live.
Yeah.
And then we get a lot of views after the fact. So it's usually goes like upwards of 4,000 views, but that may not be people watching the whole thing front to back. That may just be people clicking in and whatever. So like we're more guaranteed to have a good chance for success on our own platform, because the content of the show is there, the foundation is there. It's just
Absolutely.
I think honestly, it's just going to take for one person to really see it and see it for what it is. Like the people watching here right now do. You know, they obviously support to the point that they want to tune in on a Sunday night. But then again, like having its own platform allows it to grow to the point where it's more visible to other people and people can enjoy it for what it is, rather than like, oh yeah, I watch beat 'em ups on YouTube, I love his Nintendo Switch videos, and then coming in here and be like, oh, what's your favorite Switch game? You know, it's like I get that, but we're not talking about that over here.
Yeah.
And we can talk about games here, which is fine, but it's not the focus. It's a show.
Yeah.
So we talk about anything and everything, but just not necessarily games all the time.
Yeah. And I think it's taking a while for people to... I think a lot of people are on board. I think a lot of people have already got it. They've got the culture, they've got the humor, they've got what we're going for. And we're seeing that in a lot of responses and in a lot of the valued viewer forms. But a lot of people still are coming into it with a wood from beat 'em ups mindset.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a lot of Switch. It's a lot of my humor that I've brought in my other content. And I think it's taking a while for people to warm up and get into the mindset of what we're looking for on the show and what we do on the show. The biggest example of that is just the valued viewer forms. You know, we ask for those special skills, and we've got a couple people that have really thought outside the box, and it's added to the show. It's created something for the show. Like, look at Elliot. Like, Elliot wrote in. Granted, it was kind of a poopy story, and I don't like the bum stuff as much, but with a funny story about bum rubbing on doors, and we turned it into like a 2-episode saga, and it was one of the best part of the show. Also, early on, who was it that we had in and we tested a special skill? Ariana. What did we test her? It was so long ago. What did we test her on?
Her knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge of movies. That was really fun. And then we tested Pokejohn on Pokemon knowledge. But it would be great to get more things of that nature, more stories, more people to confront, more the special skills especially. Like, I want people to really get outside the box with these special skills. Because you ever just feel like you're really good at something in particular? Like, it's just so redundant and pointless to life. Like, I feel like I'm really good at balancing things on the tip of my finger, no matter what it is. I'm really good at catching grapes in my mouth and not missing every time. And, like, those are the kinds of things I want to test on the show, or find a way to test on the show.
Because they're really obscure, and I think they are, like, really just means nothing.
It means nothing, but it's fun.
It reminds me of the David Letterman show, the Stupid Human Tricks. Ever seen those?
Yeah, it's this thing.
No, but I can imagine it.
Yeah, it's so like what may be meaningless to the average Joe actually means something to us, because we can not from a standpoint that we can make content from it, but we want to get people involved in the show because, you know, for example, yes, we do have the valued viewer form and people can submit and come on the show to the point that, yes, like Elliot, we do like a whole 2-show thing. I make a song about it. It becomes a segment. Like, this is content created by you guys.
Yeah.
We're just facilitating it and making it
Yeah.
happen and turning it into some fun, accessible things. So this is very much everybody else's show as much as it is ours. We're just kind of the face of it. But I think I don't know. You'd be maybe hard pressed to find a show that gets people involved as much as we do, or at least we try to do anyway.
Yeah, we're trying. It's getting a little tough because we do have over 200 valued viewer forms, and those are the lifeblood of a lot of the fun that we've had on the show. And we can cold call the people that have sent in numbers and play games with people and all of that. The more people we get those numbers in, the better. Obviously, that really helps. But the stories and a lot of people like half filling out forms or just writing in with a number and nothing else, those aren't really helping add much. So we've got over 200 forms, but we're already kind of running dry on the stuff that we looked at and we were like, oh, this is really fun, or we can do something with this. So even if you filled out the form before, if you have something you're like, oh, I should have done this, or this would be funny, or this is what they're looking for, you can fill it out again. We don't mind. You can fill it out as many times as you want.
Mhm.
We don't mind. Eventually you'll get something.
Yeah, and look, like the substance that we've had has been really great.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
obviously we want more because we've poured over the forms to the point that like Wood said, kind of running dry. Not really, but kind of.
And
So
all
getting
the
more people
embarrassing
involved-
stories are about poop.
Yeah, pretty much. So the whole idea with growing the channel is growing for content for people to consume, so that way there's more stuff to enjoy, because sometimes we struggle to get topics for the show, but sometimes the show writes itself when there's so many good things that people put in. So
Yeah. It's also going to be interesting to see, because I know H3 does their podcast on YouTube and they pull great numbers. And then once they're done with the show, the live show, I think it just stays up on the channel as the episode. So once they're done, you know how we get like the 4,000 views on Twitch or whatever?
mhm.
We would have the 4,000 views as the episode. And then that gets left there, and it makes it not, it doesn't make it look like more people have watched it, but it's a better representation of how many people have enjoyed the podcast, whether they watched half of it or all of it or what, rather than we do it live to 4,000 people on Twitch, and then we upload it to YouTube after, and we get like 500 people watching it, whether they're rewatching it, watching it for the first time, whatever. We appreciate those, but it's not a true representation for how good the podcast is going. So when someone comes and watches or finds the YouTube and they see 500, there's an immediate block in your brain where you're like, oh, maybe it's not that good, without really giving it a chance. And I don't know how that's going to work, because it does mean that we might have lower res. It might mean that we can't edit it or chop and change the video version as much as we do the audio version.
Mhm.
But it could be something that works in our favor greatly.
Yeah, and again, it's all a visibility thing. So, I mean, a lot of the times, I'll look at a video and be like, "Oh, it only has that many views." When it's supposed to be something that's, or at least looks like it's supposed to be something better than it is, or whatever. So yeah, again, I mean, we've talked about this before, but it's all a numbers game, really. So if somebody sees only 400 views, that's it. Am I in first, or is this just all that is? Wow, look at that.
Does that look ridiculous?
I'm speechless, honestly. I don't know what to say.
Whoever wins the gold. Whoever wins the gold.
What is the?
What?
I'm sorry, my Go XLR freaked out. I don't know why I played it like 7 times.
This is just a test.
This is just a test. Sorry. What is the?
I'm pretty
Stop
sure,
it!
I'm pretty sure that's from when we were making the YouTube poop before the stream. And
Oh,
we were mashing
right.
it, and you recorded that. Yeah.
And it got looped in the recording too.
Yes.
Okay. I kept smashing the button trying to get it to stop, and it kept playing it.
I mean, you look pretty good.
What is the?
And it's like,
so,
it's so bad.
Mine was a revenge story on a bully. DJ Bob, revenge story. What, the embarrassing story or what?
We'll have another look at that.
Yeah, let's read some comments here. I also really want to get in contact with Dennis. Dennis, if you're watching, I really want to get in contact with you.
Give us a call back.
Would you have so much hair? Well, yeah, it gets around.
A little bit.
The audio is haunted.
Yes, it is.
Between my McDonald's and Seal story, I can't wait to call in with more. Oh, that's the guy who can't learn how to lie.
Factor Fibber.
Well, now if he calls in again, we're gonna know he's gonna be trying to lie and get away with it.
Yeah, well, we know your phone number, so
Or
next up.
Or he could come on and just tell the straight truth and do a really bad job at that, and you never know.
Don't give him ideas, producer. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Don't try to get meta here, guys.
You're really setting us up. We're gonna get it wrong next time.
Mine was an amusing story that happened when meeting to plan a funeral. Well,
That sounds interesting. Maybe.
Write that back in, or maybe we'll look better for Russ's. So it's tough because we can. Oh no, we can. They got the because it puts it in the Excel spreadsheet form. All right, Russ, we'll take a look for that one and see what it says.
Yeah. Okay. We'll have a look at that.
It was under the "What else is interesting about you" section.
Filled it out forever ago. Okay, so probably in the first batch. So we'll go back and have a look.
I want to thank everyone that's clearly from YouTube. Twitch. Ezekiel Disturbed, Yvonne, who is Paper Hearts on Twitch, Cinnamon Crunch, Cinnamon Toast, of course, Steve. I mean, that goes without saying. We love you, Steve. I think even Emily B is using a different name, but they're from Twitch too. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. Hit that like button. Don't forget. It's Brooksy. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, do you want to play a game, or do you want to chat about something else, or
I don't know.
Gaming.
What do you want to do? Gaming.
Gaming.
I don't know. Why don't everybody else tell us what they want us to do? I mean, you guys are watching. Was that you that said that, or was that the producer?
That was the producer.
Oh, okay.
No,
Because
that
you
was-
nearly
That was actually pretty close there, Wood. But
nearly fooled me.
it was better than most of his other attempts. But only I can say, bum rubbers.
Thank you for that.
Bum rubbers.
Imagine being the first, like you've never seen any shows before, and you tune in right now, and there's a deep voice that says "bum rubbers,"
And just wondering what
Bum rubbers
means. Yeah.
It's okay. The reason why I called it "bum rubbers" is because it's a double entendre, if you know what I mean.
Bum rubbers.
It's actually a triple entendre.
Indeed. That
But
was
I won't
actually
say
pretty
anything.
close there, Wood.
I won't say anything else.
Ooh, that was pretty good.
Well,
When I see that hand go, I'm just gonna clam up.
yeah.
That was actually pretty close there, Wood.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But we could play general quiz trivia with people in the chat, see if they know their gaming.
Yeah, might as well.
Or we could just find a random topic. You know, we could also experiment with podcast formats moving forward too. I've always thought about doing a podcast, like a drama podcast, but I don't want to be like one of the drama podcasts that like really get into it and like tear people up for like what they've been doing, or like, I don't know, just kind of more talking about like current day situations, maybe like things that are happening on YouTube or in real life, and kind of breaking them down and giving them our 2 cents, because Lord knows we need more of those kinds of podcasts, but they look fun.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that.
Not as our main
yes.
show, maybe like a spin-off show.
No, it's funny because when you said drama, I was like, those specific podcasts that are like drama podcasts, they're all close to the mic. They're talking about fictional
I kind of know what you're
stories.
talking about there. Yeah, I
You know what I
I
mean?
could kind of see something like that, like an
Like-
audio drama.
Ghost stories.
All right, guys,
There's a
I have
ghost?
an idea. We should tell ghost
Okay.
stories right now.
Okay, I guess that have some.
Oh, actually, let's do it. But I want to say, hold on. I want to say thank you to Ali, who's in the stream. Hi, Ali.
Hey,
Hey,
Alex.
Ali has not, I swear Ali has not missed an episode. Even here on YouTube.
We were actually just talking about you before we went live.
Yeah, we were actually trying to think about things we could do on the next episode, and we were trying to think how we could include Ali in the next episode.
Because did you know
Fun
that
fact.
when we talked about doing a show, we talked about doing a show at least 5 to 6 years ago.
Yeah.
That's how long this has been. We were actually going to have a third person, and that third person may or may not have been almost Allie.
I was really pushing for it. I thought it would have been a really good dynamic between the three of us. But Allie just always shut us down.
Well,
You know.
Mm-hmm. What is the...
Anyway, so we tell. Did you want to tell ghost stories?
Yeah, I can. Hold on. Let me get a nice I just want to get rid of the echo a little bit. Make it nice and creepy. All right, good. Am I going first, or are you?
You can go first.
Ghost stories. Huh. Okay. I feel like I need spooky music, though.
Okay.
Producer,
Yeah.
can you...
Let me see if I can
Lights
find
off.
something here. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
All right, hold on. While you do that, I'm going to make my mic as creepy as possible.
Please do.
Rubbers.
Bum rubbers. Just kind of... Maybe a little bit of that. Ooh. What happened there?
I don't
What was
know.
that? What's hard tune?
Auto tune.
Yeah,
Is it
it's your
really?
voice. Yeah.
Wait.
So if you sing,
If I sing, hold on. Ah, oh my god. And I will always love you. Is it working or not really?
Yeah, it's
I don't
might
think
just-
it's on.
I think I'm
You're
hitting the...
You should totally
You're just
sing.
a natural.
I think I'm
Cher
hitting the
now.
notes naturally. What?
You should now sing "Life After Love" by Cher. Yes. Oh wait, let's not get DMCA'd. How about that?
Testing. I actually don't know if it's working anymore. It's on.
You have to
just
switch
pitch
between
perfect.
tunes, and then it'll adjust you to the nearest like octave or whatever
What do you mean switch between tunes?
tones. Like you gotta go. You know.
Hold on, let me just go. Oh my god, that's so strange. Bum rubbers.
All right, so I hope that you were actually working on coming up with a ghost story to share because
Okay, I'm ready.
Put your reverb on.
What do you want, reverb or echo? Testing.
all right,
Okay.
I think you guys can hear that now, right?
Yeah, I hear it. This is a spooky ghost story. It's a real life story. It happened to me when I was 20. I was sat in my bed up late at night when in the reflection of the glass on my TV unit, I saw a flash of bright light. My blinds were closed. There was no road near my window. Everything was off. I don't know where the flash came from. I began to freak out, and I heard crawling in the ceiling. I'm actually not making this up. I moved to the living room out of fear, but the noises didn't stop. I felt like I was being watched out of the window. And then I looked up to the vent, the air conditioner vent, and I saw hands. And I cried a lot, and I had an anxiety attack, and then I went to bed. And that's an actual story of something that happened to me.
I've got a good one. I've
Okay,
I've
that's
actually got a really.
terrifying.
I've
Yeah,
got a-
sorry. I was probably just tripping on like anxiety, but that's what happened.
I've got a really good one.
Okay.
There's a bit of a wind up to it, but it's worth it. Okay, so when I was in high school, well, like my best friend in school and all the way up through schooling and whatever, he lived on one side of the street. On the other side of the street, there was a house, and in that house was a nice woman who, she overdosed, right?
Oh.
Years later, I ended up living in that house, which was right across the street from my best friend's house. So I remember after this lady had just died, my friend myself and his mother, we went in and cleaned the house out, or at least tried to anyway, just to kind of help out the family, because my friend and his family were good friends with this lady who died, right? This lady was a big fan of music. My friend's father played music in a band. They had like a little rehearsal studio. She would always go over and see the music. So fast forward a couple of years, I ended up living in that particular house, not knowing that connection, like that somebody had overdosed, until some spooky events had started happening. Now, bear in mind, I never partook in any recreational activities, right? Such as the devil's lettuce and or adult soda. Because I was too young of age, and with devil's lettuce, I was just never interested in. But a lot of my friends partook. And some strange things started happening. For example, people would come over under the influence of drugs and find scratches on their back. Like they would all of a sudden feel like these burning sensations on their back. Dead set. This has happened multiple times. And also the connection with music, right? So I would sit in a 2-story house by myself. It was just myself and my kitten at that time. I would sit in a dark house and I would feel like eyes staring at the back of my head. And it was only until I said something to my friend's mother that there was a connection of this lady overdosed in what was my bedroom. Okay. So the thing that I was thinking is that this individual, the ghost, never bothered me because I never partook, but always was interested in watching music because I would always play. But anybody who came over under the influence of drugs or alcohol would always have the sign, the mark of the beast. But the creepiest thing, and I'm 100% not making any of this up, the night before I left, the whole house was emptied out aside from my mattress, which I put near the front door. I heard footsteps upstairs. There was nobody upstairs. Like you could hear like that kind of jumping around upstairs. I heard my name called, and I was like totally flipping out. I had a friend come and visit me and claim that they saw somebody in the back room, a lady with blonde hair. This lady who had overdosed had blonde hair. And I never told them this connection. They just said I swear I saw this thing. So it was really creepy. And I lived that for like 5 months, like knowing that there was something in the house. So it was really, really weird. But the fact that I heard my name called and footsteps on a second floor that was not occupied, just answer that for me. Tell me how that happens.
Erek, I'm coming to get ya.
Nah, it's pretty creepy. I didn't like that story at all.
All right.
I
So
know.
now it's my turn, right?
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Go for it.
All right, guys. So, this one is based on a true story that probably happened to somebody at one point, but definitely wasn't me. Once upon a time, there was this girl, moved to a new town, didn't know anybody. But there was this group of people that she really wanted to hang out with, right? The cool kids, right? Of course. They wouldn't let her hang out, though. They said, if you want to hang out with us, you gotta stay the night in this creepy mansion that's haunted. All right.
I think I have to leave.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
So she goes and stays the night at this hotel, or this old haunted mansion.
Yeah,
right?
look at the story straight.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Motel 8.
No. That would have been way too haunted, too many ODs. So she stays the night. And then she hears in the distance a voice saying, "Bum rubbers. When the log rolls over, we'll all be dead." She freaks the hell out, says, "What?" She runs, tries to escape. But then she stops and says, "Hey, if I do this, I'll be a loser for the rest of my life. I gotta hang out with the cool kids. I gotta go investigate this sound." So she walks toward the voice, which continues to chant, "When the log rolls over, we'll all be dead. So, she finds this room where the voice is coming from. She opens the door. It's the bathroom. The voice. When the log rolls over, we'll all be dead. She follows the voice further.
Into the toilet.
Coming from the toilet, there's a turd covered in ants, and the leader who says, when the log rolls over, we'll all be dead. End scene.
Based on true events.
Yeah. For some,
I preferred my version with the bum rubbers.
A voice in the distance. Bum rubbers.
I know that was a really spooky story to spring on everybody, and I apologize.
She heard a voice in the distance that said,
Bum rubbers.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun.
Mario, actually.
All right, good times, good stories.
Yeah, that was good.
That was fun. Does chat have one?
Who's got
Puppet Zelda just moved, apparently, is what Steve said. What the hell was that?
I don't know.
You know what's really creepy, and no one else can see this, but because you're streaming us OBS, there's a delay in it, and every now and then I look over to it out of habit, but because there's a delay, my eyes take a second to catch up. So when I look at it, my eyes then, like, I watch my eyes look at it, and it's like there's like a ghost in it, and I hate
you're
it.
Looking, you like make eye contact with yourself.
Have you ever seen? Yes, that's what it feels like. Have you ever seen? It went around YouTube for the longest time, and it's such an easy like little video clip to fake. But back then, you weren't really thinking about like that kind of stuff. It was of this. I think she was a Chinese girl, and there's like these 3 mirrors, and she's sitting at the 3 mirrors, and it's like a minute-long video of her just like doing her hair. It's kind of like an overall creepy tone to it in general, and you see her reflection in all 3 mirrors the whole time. But like right near the end, they just have one of the mirrors where like she's looking around or she looks down, and that one just stays deadpan staring into the camera. It was terrifying because it looks so real. You can't see the cuts. It went on just long enough to make you think like and it was like the start of YouTube, so you just weren't used to being pranked. It could be real. It looks really good, but that video always freaked me out.
Oh, that's awesome.
You never know.
Mm-hmm.
The sad thing about early YouTube videos is like if you went to go look for that now, you would never find the original.
No, you would never.
I really regret not getting on YouTube when it started, man. I literally remember, I don't know why I remember, but I remember the day, the class I was in, the location, like who I was talking to, when they asked me, have you ever heard of YouTube? It's a new thing. And this was in 2004, the year that YouTube launched. They were like, have you ever watched anything on YouTube? Have you seen YouTube or whatever? And I remember thinking at that moment, like when I found out it was something you could upload your videos to, I was always really big into like in YouTube, all my classes were drama, media, computing. I loved using cameras. I loved making stupid little videos. I'd done it with my friends growing up. And my first thought was, I should start uploading videos to YouTube. That'd be fun. I'd load my little stupid videos up there. And I didn't start doing it till 2013, when I finally was like, I decided to do it. Imagine if I had ran with that in 04 and I had been like one of the, I'm talking like it was that new. I don't know when like people like Shane Dawson or whatever jumped onto YouTube, how soon it was. I know a lot of them were really early. Trisha Paytas was one of the first ones too. But I swear to you, I would have been like one of those first people, assuming I stuck around and kept doing it to this point. But I would have been like OG with that thought.
You would have been. I think it all comes down to a timing thing, really. Like, I think if you did what you were doing now back then, yeah, you would have been one of the OG. But I guess the question is would you have been able to do it at the capacity in which you wanted to? Obviously, like being in school and stuff. I mean, I started in like 2012. But before then, yeah, I had uploaded like music covers and stuff to YouTube like as early as like 2007, 2008. But I remember seeing like the very first batch of YouTube videos in around 2005, like discovering that this is a thing. Like, oh, this is cool. Like, you know, this is going to take over TV. More or less, it kind of has, I guess. At least paved the way with like on-demand streaming stuff. But yeah, imagine having been one of the OGs.
Yeah, it would have been
Never know.
crazy. I mean, the platform wasn't even monetized for years after that too. And I remember the
No.
day it got monetized, even I was like, oh man, now you can get paid for it. I should really jump on it. But it was
Mhm,
still like years after that before I even bothered to make a channel. And
mhm.
it's weird thinking about what I would be now, like what kind of content I would make. Because back then I wouldn't have been doing gaming stuff. That the idea of that, I mean, I've always loved games, but the idea of a gaming channel wasn't around in '04. I didn't start doing that till 13 because I saw someone else had started doing it in the retro community or Game Chasers, and I was like, I could copy that. And that's how
I
that came around. But if I had started in '04, I probably just would have been stupid little skits with my friends. And if I had got popular doing that, then I could essentially be like a Smosh type creator, a Smosh type channel at this point.
Yeah, I think the thing that I mean, same as you, when I first really got into like gaming stuff, like Game Chasers and stuff. Like, well, I eventually became a part of the Game Chasers, like helping promote their stuff, and then became like the voice of Game Chasers for like the season 3 on this episode of the Game Chasers. Like that was me a few years ago, which is really cool to be a part of. And then I think that's how I ended up finding you.
Hmm.
But like putting yourself in a gaming box back then, I feel like you were more likely to be successful than you are now.
Yeah.
I'm more particularly like with the retro game stuff. I mean, obviously that's where you and I.
Retro's dead, sadly.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's so niche, but like at that point in time, it was pretty bumping. But imagine
Yeah.
having been like a multimedia kind of guy or like a funny skit kind of guy like Smosh
Yeah.
was. I mean,
Hmm.
Smosh has games and stuff now, but like imagine having been something like that back then. Honestly, you never know. It's all conjecture. But then again, maybe you're on the path to that now, and you just don't know.
It's weird, even the phases that YouTube and culture and life has gone through, even since I and we started in 012 and 13. Because, yeah, when I started, I managed to get a foot in gaming community and on YouTube because of retro. And it's
Hmm.
so funny that, I rode that wave and I didn't intentionally jump ship. I started making Wii U and Switch content and that blew up. So I was like, okay, then I'm going to focus on this. It was a no-brainer, My
Yeah.
retro stuff was doing fine for my size, but we're talking all of a sudden I'm getting thousands of views, like thousands of views.
You
So
can't
like
ignore that.
of course that's where I'm going to go, and I'm a very passionate person in general, and I'm passionate about every kind of game. I spent all day playing Series X, and I've always played like everything. So for me, jumping from retro to Switch, it was easy to do. It wasn't like I had to change my lifestyle. If anything, retro was something I had gotten into because of YouTube, because I
Mhm.
wanted to get into it. And then once I collected everything I wanted, my passion was honestly fading out pretty quickly. And I was enjoying playing the new experiences more anyway. But so I got pretty lucky that I jumped out of it just in time to raid the new wave. And I had no idea at the time because I didn't foresee it coming. But that retro bubble really did burst.
Oh
And
yeah, it
while
did.
while prices on games haven't really burst and the prices of games haven't come down really too much, the
No.
interest in the content has definitely burst. I think the only person now really seeing success with older style content would be Scott the Was, and maybe some other content creators similar to him that manage to get really decent views consistently. But it's because they're really transforming the media. Like Scott, for example, is creating these long form, really highly entertaining videos with skits, very Jontron esque, old school Jontron esque style, but with his own flair. I feel like their videos are completely different, but it hits those same notes, and I feel like that's what draws people to that kind of content. But as far as just you can put out any retro content, anything you want on any game, like old NES, and people would just eat it up trying to find and consume the content. That's
No,
long
that's
gone.
that's that's long gone, and that's funny because like that's where my YouTube channel was really thriving on that a few years ago. Like when I first offloaded my retro game remakes from my video game review channel, I was getting a lot of views and clicks, like so, to the point where I was getting like 40,000 views on some of my videos. But then again, I took time off, and now I'm lucky to get 100. That doesn't mean I don't like doing it, but it definitely shows you that the viewership is not there like it used
Hmm.
to be. Like, yes, I got like you got into the retro gaming thing because I was enjoying all that, and that made me want to go and collect. And I had my YouTube channels that I loved to watch, to the point that, like you, I did my own game hunting YouTube channel called The Game Quest.
Mm-hmm.
which was quite funny. But yeah, I wanted to do that as well. Like, not that I wanted to piggyback off the Game Chaser success, but I wanted to do that too because I liked game hunting videos. I still do, and I wanted to do it just to see what I could do. But it became a very expensive endeavor, so I stopped doing it.
Yeah, collecting got really expensive. Honestly, now, by the way, I want to finish this statement, but Dennis just messaged me, which is why I checked my phone. So we got
Hilarious.
Dennis. We got Dennis.
We
The
got
first person to ever fill out the valued viewer form. We got him. We got, what's that meme?
We got
Ladies
him.
and gentlemen, we got him. Wait, it sounds more like this. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Yeah, if you get that, you get that. No, yeah, actually, it's funny because I got so passionate into collecting. And, you know, I grew up on NES. I didn't really grow up on Super Nintendo, but I grew up on 64. And then I wouldn't even say I grew up on GameCube because I was already pretty grown by that point, you know, becoming an adolescent, I guess a little bit. And then I was in my high school years. Depends where you want to finish growing up, I guess. But I grew up on the old school stuff. And so it was really fun going back and not only collecting what I had, which was obviously very few, like 5 to 10 games, but then discovering new experiences or buying the ones that I wish I had back then. And then once I had it all, I started just trying to find whatever, you know, expensive, things that looked cool, unique, obscure, hidden gems, you name it. And suddenly I amassed this massive collection, and I ended up leaving that whole collection in Australia, moving to America, being without that collection for 3 years, thinking the whole time, I need to get my hands back on that. I need to get that back. And when I finally had it shipped over, I looked at it and I was like, what do I do with all of this? You know, I haven't had it in my life for 3 years. I haven't needed it for 3 years. At this point, what is this to me? Is this just a collection, a trophy piece? It's just bragging rights? And then I ended up stuffing it in a closet because I couldn't fit it in that house. 2 years later, we buy this house. I finally have room for it, and I don't really want to display it. And I don't really have a way of playing any of it. I don't really feel attached to it because it feels like something I did 5 years ago. So I ended up selling a ton of it. And now whatever is left is behind the wall in front of me in storage. And as part of me that's like, I sentimental over a lot of it, but what do I do with it?
I've had 2 really good game collections in my life, and I've built them up from scratch each time. Before I came to Australia the first time, I had a game collection that I advertised on Craigslist. I wanted to sell like one thing, right? Just because I wanted to get a couple bucks for my trip. A guy came over and he's like, if you're selling this, can I buy your whole collection? And I was like, well,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm not going to turn that kind of money down. So I sold my whole collection to him. Done.
I remember how much you sold it for too.
Yes. So, and then years later, after we were coming to Australia for the second time, which is I would consider I'm in my second stint in Australia now. I mean, I'm a permanent resident and all that stuff. But before we came, I had amassed a good collection over like a year or so, like a lot of NES games, a lot. And I was just said to myself, you know what? There's actually something that I would really prefer rather than a game collection. So I put that money towards a really expensive bass guitar. So that cost me like $3,000, and I sold a majority of that collection for close to that. Games have always been good for reselling because you know you can most of the time always buy it and then sell it for a little bit more. Especially now, like I was having a look at particularly like Game Boy games. Wow, those things are just absurd at the cost of like even just a loose cartridge. And N64 games, I mean, this is just over here in Australia. I mean, the prices are going to be inflated regardless. But like a loose N64 with like Mario Kart 64, $200 bar, like minimum bar.
Yeah,
it's like, when did it get like this? And it's no longer accessible anymore. So I will likely never.
That's the
collect
thing
again.
as well. Like I said, like the prices haven't come down, but the interest has come down. But I feel like a lot of that ties into itself too. Like so many collectors and people inspired by collectors went out and bought all this stuff in finite numbers. People having garage sales were being asked all the time, do you have stuff? And if they did, they would sell it or put it out next week. And I feel like we just sucked everything dry. And there is no more. There's some lying in dusty boxes and attics, but everyone that knew enough to be able to sell it, sold it during the hype. So now what we have is a lack of interest as far as media, but a bunch of collectors knowing the worth. So they're not going to have a garage sale and put it out in a tub for $5 because they know what it's worth.
They're all just going to sit there in a closet or on a shelf.
Yep.
I mean, most of them, honestly, having been graded, so they're sitting in a plastic case, sealed. Still, it's like that's one thing that kind of bothers me. Like, I get it if you have, like, let's just say you have a sealed Earthbound, right? I mean, you don't want to open that. Put it that way. So you get it graded, and then you put it on your shelf, and maybe 20 years time you sell it for over $100,000. To me, I just find that I don't know. It's a bit dicey. Go ahead.
I don't want to interrupt. I want to hear the end of your thought because I want to add my 2 cents.
No, it's like, to me, there's been things that it's you know what, like, just screw it. Just open the damn thing. I mean, like, these things are meant to be enjoyed and played.
I definitely agree with that sentiment. However, I also feel like unless that person is hoarding several copies, if they just have one and they've played the game, they know they love the game, maybe they have it on Wii U even, and they just have this sealed copy of Earthbound and they want to treasure it and protect it because there's only so many of them, like in general.
For sure. In that instance, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's why I'm big on collecting and I'm big on keeping things sealed in general because I know at some point they're not going to be being made again. And I feel this connection to games and experiences exactly I've had. Kim hates that I don't open my amiibos, by the way, because she loves to see them out and they take up so much room. She's like, why are you not open? Because they look so nice and they're so pristine and I'm not going to use them anyway. I don't know. It depends. If I want to play a game and I've just recently bought the game, I'm going to open it. I'm not going to be like, I should keep that sealed in case it's worth something one day.
For sure.
But what I love...
I
was gonna say what I love is when I buy a game sealed and then the dev sends me a key. I'm like, I love you. Okay, in the shelf, and then I download the game.
Yeah, for sure. I would do the same thing. But then on the other side of the coin, you have like, at least over here, the Game and Watch. You know, the little units that Nintendo came out with. They're still being sold in stores, at least here in Australia. I think they came out with like a second wave of them, so you can still buy them for around $70. But on like on the Facebook Marketplace, you'll see an odd ad or so for like $300. $300 for a Game and Watch. Same thing, for example, more recently, the Skyward Sword amiibo. That's being scalped.
Oh God, that's a whole nother topic. I hate that. I hate that.
Ridiculous, and it makes me not even want to enjoy a medium because there's people like scalping PlayStation 5s. Like I saw a PS5 in JB Hi-Fi the other day. I was like, I would really love to have one of those. But I have to get in line for a pre-order or even on the Facebook Marketplace pay over $1,000 for a disc unit. It's just like I can't even have fun and enjoy my own hobby anymore because people have ruined it.
That's a whole separate conversation, honestly. Who was that in Discord? Was that one of us?
No.
Okay, good. Just making sure the intern wasn't like, yo, guys, this is a test stream. I gotta go eat. Which, by the way, we probably should wrap this up soon. But the scalper thing is definitely, it bothers me so much. Like the Skyward Sword amiibo, I saw it. Like I woke up, I saw it was announced on Twitter, and I knew that it announced a couple hours ago before I woke up. I didn't even bother. And when I went into GameStop later that day to pick up my pre-order of Biomutant, which I regret because it sucks, the guy knows me and he's like, did you get that Skyward Sword amiibo? And I was like, no, I wasn't going to bother. Do you still have it? And he was like, oh no, they went right away. And I'm like, yeah, I know. There's no point. And it's not people. There's a lot of people trying to buy them to avoid scalpers, of course. But so many of them are just going to scalpers. Like the Pokemon card situation is insane.
That's ridiculous.
That's gotten so bad to the point now where pretty much everything is being bought to scalp. People are so vicious about it that they're not selling them in Targets and Walmarts anymore because like employees were getting hurt over these freaking things. People bum rushing them to get Pokemon cards when they're putting them out. So Target's like, we're not going to sell them anymore. You're done messed up.
It's funny because like, do you remember the amiibo craze? Like you and I got in on that, of course, and you remember coming over to my
dude. I remember
and seeing the wall of amiibos that I had.
Yes.
I had everyone at that point.
I remember going to Target at 8 a.m. when they opened at 9 to get the gold Mario amiibo, and when the doors opened, everyone ran to the electronic section.
I know, I did that before, and that it's like I remember lining up at Target like you at 8 a.m. before work. And it's like, what am I doing? Am I really a part of this? Like, because I just want to collect to display them. So there I am. The new Fire Emblem amiibos come out, and I'm racing other 30-year-old dudes.
It's pathetic.
And it's like, am I really a part of this?
It's
You know,
pathetic. It's
it
it's
really
like
is.
it's so pathetic. Like, but like I want it, and like it's cool to have it, and that part isn't pathetic. But the fact that we all have to line up and then run and race and try and get these things, like there's one part of it is obviously supply and demand, but the other part of it is just scalpers, and you know you can pick them out of a lineup too when you look at them. You're like, you know
Sure.
exactly who is there to try and scalp. It's the people that harass the people at the counter because they want to buy more than one and they're not allowed to. Kim and I, and we told this story on stream. Kim and I, but we went to GameStop because the guy that worked there told us that he had some Pokemon cards he was holding for us. We went in and they had some extras behind the counter. This guy came in, this obvious like 45-year-old man who had nothing to do with Pokemon, had just got off work. He was wearing a high-vis vest. He ran in and he started grabbing the boxes from behind the counter. And he was like, I'll buy all these. I'll buy all these. He grabbed like 3 or 4 different things. And the girl had to be like, sorry, it's one per customer. And he was like, they have 2, and we had like 2 different things. And she was like, I know, but it's 2 different things. And he looked over at me, and I had the Zacian box. And this is the part that really I don't even get. He's like, oh, that Zacian box is worth 150 online right now. There's that one, and then the Zacumano one. They're both worth 150. You are so lucky to be getting that right now. And I was like, yeah, man, I just want to open them. And then he goes, look, I managed to grab 3 yesterday. And he shows me his phone, and I'm not even kidding. It's a picture of the 3 of them with his little like OfferUp name tag in front of it. So when he posts it on OfferUp for 150 each, they can verify that it's his post. And that's the picture he's showing me to show that he bought 3 yesterday. I don't know if he was just overexcited that he's about to make a lot of money, or he was trying to say, hey, if you want more, I've got some I'm selling. But I was like, good for you, man. Get your grubby hands off the ones that you can't buy.
Yeah, it shows the good and evil of consumerism. Like I remember the amiibo that I spoke about. It was when the Robin amiibo came out. That was just nuts. And it just makes you not want to enjoy anything. It makes it hard to enjoy anything.
Yeah.
Like piggybacking back into the retro stuff. Like when Angry Video Game Nerd essentially made the retro stuff more mainstream, and then everybody cascaded from there. And like I think even the Game Chasers as well. They were very 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 popular, doing their American Pickers style stuff.
Yeah.
For those that aren't aware. Like it's like you can find little Samson at a flea market. So like everybody's going looking at their flea markets and then asking people, do you got any of them PlayStations? It's just totally wrecked the hobbies. And that's the one downside to all of that.
It has wrecked it, but at the same time, it gave life to it. And
Yes.
there's 2 ways of looking at it too. Like when it comes to like Metal Jesus and a hidden gem, and he's like, hey, no one played this game. That game might be worth like $5 and it's a hidden gem. But it's $5 because it is a hidden gem and no one knew about it. Like it's cheap because no one wanted it. Now all of a sudden people know about it and people are buying it. So the demand's gone up, the price has gone up. And if people are still willing to buy it, to pay to play it, then that's on them. And I think a price of a game going up because people have realized that it's good because of someone else is fine. That game is now getting the respect and the love that it deserves, and it's cost more because of it. But it's the people that try and buy like 50 of them because they see the price is going up, and then they try and scalping them and selling them. They're the problem, not Metal Jesus talking about the game no one knew about. Because if you didn't know about it before, what's it matter that it's expensive now?
Yeah.
Like you were never going to know about it anyway. It's the people, it's the cause and effect of the other terrible people watching that's the issue, not the people talking about it.
Yeah, it's like the people who bought maybe 20 years ago stadium events or whatever for inflation's sake, rather than it gets really popular in, I don't know, some video. So people go out and buy it. I understand that's obviously how the market works, but trying to wreck the market so people can inflate the profits that are going over their way. Yeah, that's the stuff that kills the hobby. For example, like the people who get the PlayStation 5 pre-orders and then sell those, like sell the pre-orders before the order is even fulfilled in person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if this person goes and picks up the PlayStation 5 for somebody who's already bought it and then makes $500 off of that, that's just, I don't know. It's a whole supply and demand thing. And I think everybody obviously understands what we're getting at, but it's just frustrating. And it's the stuff that kind of kills hobbies.
Well, this has been a fantastic test. It's been,
absolutely.
I don't even know how long we've been streaming for, way longer than we intended.
Yep.
Hour and a half, actually. We still have our podcast on Tuesday, so we need to save some energy. But this has been a great test of how many people are going to show up, you know, what like the ebb and the flow of people leaving and coming and going. It'll be interesting because this is how long our podcast will be, to see how many views we get on this whole thing. Like, really, this has been a great test.
Yes, for sure.
So thank you all for watching it and being a part of it. We actually were just going to test it for a little bit, but so many of you showed up. I think we got carried away and a little bit excited, but it was a ton of fun.
Yes.
So we will do the podcast here on Tuesday. I'm going to have to announce that places and figure it out with Twitch. Well, I say we. Erek and the producer will be having the podcast here on Tuesday. Do you guys mind if I tag along for that?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the
okay.
player.
Because producer, you're hosting this, you're streaming this, right? And
That's
I'm just
right.
on the call. Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I'll join the call and I'll be a part of it on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, it'd be a pleasure to have you guest on.
Thank you.
On
I
that day, sure.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
even though your name's in the logo.
don't worry about that. So on Tuesday, we will be premiering the first episode of the show, which is episode 12.
Yep.
Yeah, episode 12 here on Twitch. Normal time, the 7 p.m. Central, so 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, whatever time Australia. We're going to have a ton of fun, and it's going to be a blast. And thank you all for coming to the test. Is there anything I need to add to that?
No, I think just reiterating that we're doing it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
That's the
not-
biggest thing, not Twitch. We're not doing it on Twitch. We've already talked about it today. It was the first thing we talked about today for like 20 minutes. This will be uploaded so you can go back and watch it immediately if you missed it, but we'll also explain it in the episode and the pre-show before the episode on Tuesday, why, once again, hopefully for the last time, why we're doing it here now instead of Twitch. We're going to experiment with that anyway for this week and see how it goes. But Tuesday, live here, not Twitch, same show, same everything. Can't wait. Okay,
That's it.
great. Anything you want to add, producer?
Would this be like episode 11 and a half?
Yeah, I mean, a conversation with. We might title this something fun and leave it up on the channel because it was pretty good. It was pretty great.
Yeah, that was really good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
on
maybe
that
we
note,
chop it into highlights. We'll figure it out.
bum rubbers.
Yeah, bum rubbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That was actually pretty close there, Wood. And on that note,
All right, bye.
fist
All right.
bumps only.
Fist bumps only. Producer remembers that better than we do.
Here we go.
Oh, I got to pee so bad.
Yeah.